Hi there, Sandy Freshie here, back with another video. I'm still on vacation and I'm actually on my way downtown to do a little artwork and have a little something to drink, and I really hope the background noise is not going to be too disturbing. I'm closer to the road than I normally am when I'm recording outside, at least when I'm recording at home outside. But I wanted to hop on really quickly and talk about some things that have been kind of roaming around in my heart and mind about emotions and truth. And this has been brought on or brought up inside of me from some things I heard in my mindfulness studies. Tara Brach, who is a mindfulness guru, so to speak, has said, and I was contemplating this this week, that emotions are real, but they may not be the truth. When I think about that mechanically in terms of the human design chart, you know, I have come to understand through my own open emotional center that the experience of emotions and truth have some principles that are universal, depending, regardless of whether or not you are defined, whether you're defined or undefined. And those principles have to do with emotions not being the place of your truth. And if you're like me and you're looking around on the planet, you can tell that like a lot of unconscious people are making decisions from a place of emotion. Now, if you know about your human design chart and you happen to be, let's say, emotionally defined, you know that your emotional chemistry needs to play out before you can get to a place of clarity. So that's one little differentiation, but it's still based in that principle that there's no truth in emotion. Like, you can't really base a decision on, or a good decision, or take an action that's really going to be aligned for you when you are riding your emotional wave. Let's say if you're emotionally defined, and if you're emotionally undefined, you definitely don't want to make decisions based on emotion, because they're not even yours. They're inconsistent. They're not usually not yours, because you're filtering everybody else's in the planet and all of that stuff. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about some experiences that I've had recently being emotionally undefined in another video. But I just wanted to share this principle that if you're caught up in, well, what does it mean, you know, to have an emotional authority, or what does it mean when I'm not emotionally defined, and what does it mean to not have, if somebody's ever told you, like sometimes I tell people in readings, there's no truth in your emotions, or no truth in your emotional experience. It means, it means that if you're trying to make a decision when you're all emotional, you don't really have the clear vision that you need to have. Your ability to observe your experience and to be objective about it is cloudy, and you don't really have access, and this is for those of you who are undefined, you don't really have access to your authority when you're filtering all of that emotion. So that's where, you know, good energy management practices come into play for those who are undefined, and everybody in general, but especially in terms of deconditioning the emotional center. You know, getting out of people's auras, taking good care of yourself when you're being activated by the transits and all of that. And for people who, if you're defined emotionally, good energy management applies as well, because what you're getting in your emotional experience is data. you're getting information about how your chemistry is being affected by the situation in front of you. However, there's still nothing to do until you're really clear and you're in that calm, clear place where your entire emotional cycle has played out. And then you have all of the data from which you can extrapolate your truth. So I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I can feel myself getting into the rambling of, you know, if you're undefined, it's this way. If you're defined, it's this way. I'd love to know what questions you have about your emotions, your emotional experience, especially now on the planet. You know, everything is changing. If you watched my last video, go and watch it. If you didn't, you'll get an idea of kind of where all of this is coming from inside of me, through my own existential crisis and burnout, my second Saturn return crisis and burnout, and deeper deconditioning, I think. But I'd love to know your experience. I'd love to know how you've been able to ride through your emotional experience, whether you're defined or undefined, to arrive at truth for you. And again, I want to remind you that truth is somewhat synonymous to your authority. Like your truth is always in your authority. So how do you get to your authority, especially if you're not emotional, through the filtering of emotions? And if you are emotional, if you have an emotional authority, how do you ride through your emotions to get to your truth? So I'm going to leave it at that for now. We'll see what else bubbles up. But I just wanted to sit right here on the ground in a different scenery so that you could be here with me as I kind of enjoy some of the time off where I actually have space to create in a different kind of a way. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like it, share it with those that may benefit, and please subscribe if you are not subscribed, and hit the little bell to be notified of when I post new videos. And of course, always, if you're interested in a reading, go ahead and check out my services at sandyfreshy.com. Thank you so much.